10 casual LEGO minifigures, but not for long. Because I'm trying to turn these 10 minifigures into famous video game characters everyone wants, but no one has. Let's go! The rules are simple. In the end, I have to have 10 video game characters. But I'm not allowed to just stroll into the LEGO store and use existing minifigures like the Fortnite skins from the Battle Pass. No matter how cool the minifigures are, everyone can do that, and therefore it's illegal. So I must create my very own. And the first game character I will be making is Peely from Fortnite. But don't you agree that it would also be illegal to just use this banana costume? Instead, I will start with an almost completely yellow minifigure. First, I have to rub away the shorts with an eraser. Then I can wrap the minifigure in Fimo like a hot dog. I know this looks cursed, but trust me. The next step of cutting away the majority of putty again will form the typical shape of a banana. But now I'm going to paint the banana skin completely yellow before adding any more details. And I think the finished Peely looks stunning. He even has a Nana sticker on his back, but currently Peely is defenseless. So to go along with the minifigure, I also designed this custom rocket launcher. This way he can defeat any enemy. For the next game character, I will need a completely grey minifigure and the head from LEGO Sonic, because I'm trying to create silver as a minifigure. First I'll paint the torso slightly white to represent the chest fur. I could have painted silver completely white, but I came to the conclusion that light grey looks way better. Next I'll paint the shoes. For these I worked in layers. That means that I'll first add a white foundation. Then comes the bright blue layer, then dark blue, and then gold. But I'm not done yet. I'll also create the small pins in the front. And that's the easy part done, because now I'm going to design silver spines. No joke, they remind me of a maple leaf. The big difficulty now is that the individual spikes are symmetrical to each other. But I'm pretty happy with the final result, and the head goes into the oven. Next I'll paint the whole head white. White because it forms a base and holds very well. After the white foundation, I'll add the grey layer. And that's easy going. But the spikes on the back of Sonic's head shouldn't be there. So I'm going to go to the workshop. We gotta cut something real quick. Be extremely careful when working with such powerful tools like a bandsaw, and don't put your fingers in danger. Now silver looks very macabre, and it's high time to form the two spines with Fimo. I have to use all sorts of tools and even make some by myself to be able to form the two spines, and then it's a matter of waiting again. Now I have to color some more tentacles grey, and the hedgehog from 200 years into the future is finished. Next on my list is a Minecraft myth, Herobrine. A Steve skin with white eyes. It's probably the easiest of all the customs today, because I only have to paint Steve's eyes completely white. I hope I never meet him when caving. Now before you guys intervene that this isn't a real custom and everyone could do this, I crafted another Steve with sunglasses and a tie. Now we have double the trouble, and no one can say I didn't give my best. The next video game icon is the legendary unit from Clash Royale and Clash of Clans. To build it, you first need a completely brown minifigure. Then you paint the golden sandals and give the Hogrider a loin protector. Next up, you paint the torso. Unfortunately, I no longer have the footage. The hardest thing is to achieve symmetry in the face. To go along with the Hogrider, I also designed a hammer and filled up the gaps with Fimo. The hog, on the other hand, is super complex, because I have to add 4 thin legs and an even thinner tail. And for more connectability, I will also add a stud to the belly. It's definitely not a creation to throw around. And once the hog is painted, it looks phenomenal. The best thing is the holding line. I created this one out of a green wine. Now the Hogrider can jump over walls without fear of falling off his hog. Next up will be the Fall Guys default skin. The problem, the skin has a weird shape. Lucky me, the LEGO minions have the exact same weird shape. So I'll speedrun to a local LEGO store and get my hands on a banana. No! Peely stole the car. I only need a minion anyways. Now let's exchange the head with a blank round plate and a blank cone and cover everything in white. I usually paint things white because it's easier to later on paint over it with another color. Here it's pink. Yes, I'll even paint the arms and add pink hands because the entire skin is pink. And because this is so nice, I'll also paint a minion red and one green.
We'll come back to those later.
What I want to do now is to paint the white round face and finally add the black eyes that look like a socket. And the Fall Guys character is finished. Let's test how good he can fall. And I kinda got lazy because I'll go back to Fortnite. I mean, there are hundreds of Fortnite skins I can choose from. And it seemed kinda logical that I have to create a Fishstick skin. First I'll cover the entire skin in blue as a foundation. Then I work once again with layers to create the boots of Fishstick. But that is the easy part done, because now I have to design the torso. And these thin lines require all my attention. To round it off, I will add a few dark blue lines to mimic the wrinkles on the garment. But only with the head it will become really interesting, because the eyes and all the various elements that finally form the head have to be layered on top of the actual head mold. Here it's extremely helpful if you first dry the head and only then start attaching the eyes and other stuff. Otherwise, you risk deforming the head again and you will never reach your goal. The painting on the other hand is super easy though. As an accessory, this minifigure will get the typical pickaxe. With this pickaxe, Fishstick can now mine some wood and afterwards build like a sweat. The third Fortnite skin is the Durr Burger skin, and my goal is to make a better version than the ones out there.
To achieve this goal, I got some inspiration from the Brick Burger. This looks so tasty that I wanna try it.
The base consists of orange legs, an orange torso, purple arms, orange hands and a normal head. But very similar to the Fishstick skin, I will once again cover the entire head in Fimo. Once this is done, I can then finally carve the general shape of the burger and slowly work my way to the final result. And now that I'm happy with it, the head goes into the oven. Now comes the first layer of color, but currently I only have bread and meat, not exactly a good burger. So I'm going to add a tongue and a cheese. I wonder what tongue would taste like. Tongue and then eyes. Either way, I have to put the head into the oven once more. In the meantime, I can start with the torso. And that's a huge challenge again, because the lines are so numerous and so thin. So I'll just draw the simple lines first and slowly work my way into the details. The bow tie and the shirt are the start. But just look at this sticker! And now I have to paint it on a leg of a minifigure. First I'll make the white background, then the black border, and finally I will try to write Durr Burger on it. Well, if you know what should be written, it's actually pretty decent. On the other hand, it's much easier to color in the eyes, the cheese, the tongue and the olive. They are huge areas. And the third Fortnite skin is also finished. But I would also like to give this one a special weapon, a scar. You can easily create one with a Star Wars blaster and a hand. If you now add a little color, it is the ultimate weapon. And we can finally put a tick next to Fortnite. And it's time to use the green minion, because I'm going to create the Cactus from Brawl Stars. First I'll change the hands to green and then add a flick fire missile to the top to make it more comfortable whilst painting. And the first thing I'll paint are the brown trousers. Then I will paint the purple jacket and finally the face. That one is the hardest, because it has to be as symmetrical as possible. But I think it turned out pretty good. Now I will add a few specks of putty to mimic the cactus spikes. The last bit of painting is really easy. As an accessory, I'll give the cactus an explosive cactus blossom. The next famous minifigure will be Mario. And yes, LEGO has already made Mario.
LEGO Mario time!
But not as a minifigure. And as a base, I'm using a blue torso, and not small, not normal, and not huge legs, but the smallest ones that are movable. Then I'll add red arms with white hands, a head and a police hat. But that's not Mario yet, so I'll disassemble the wannabe Mario again and start painting. And I'm telling you, although the clothing seems simple, it's quite difficult to paint. That's why I'll first draw the outlines with a pencil, and only then I'm starting with the paint. First I'll retrace the pencil lines with black and then cover the upper third in red. Then I painted the two yellow dots and I could call it a day. But I want to add some more details on the trousers. Actually, I didn't want to start with the face. That's the most difficult thing. Here, I even had to draw a line in the middle as a reference to make the face symmetrical and straight. So you see, symmetry is our biggest enemy when painting minifigures. But don't let that put you off, because practice makes perfect. For example, I also failed the eyebrow, and now I have to repaint it. Luckily, I got it on my second try. Now comes the mustache, and this one is a whole other level of difficulty. And now that I'm done with the face, I'm realizing that the police hat now covers half of it. That's why I have to make my own hat out of Fimo. And believe me, cool creations usually look bad at the beginning. But trust in your abilities, and in the end, it will look great. It took me half an hour to only shape the hat. At least it's easy to cover the hat in red. But can anyone tell me why Mario's hair is brown and his mustache black? Now it all comes down to the M on his head. Just don't mess that one up, Brickenobi. Yes! To go along with Mario, I made him a Mario Kart. That's right, my last minifigure is from Among Us. I'll start with the red minion and add the black outline of the visor. Then I'm gonna add the blue inside and I'm basically done. No, not really, because the sussy player is missing his backpack. And for this one, I'll use a scuba diver backpack, cut away the ring on top and paint it all red. Finally, I'll use some super glue to attach it to the back of my minifigure for eternity. And the game can commence. If you have any other ideas for your video game characters, please let me know.
See ya.